We got this story here from Graby, and it's a clip from Colbert. Colbert on Tesla cars getting wheels stolen. I do not condone this, but I do appreciate your tireless efforts. So we've got Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel essentially advocating for the terrorism that we are seeing. I don't know where this clip starts, but let's roll it.
Trump is not destroying everything we love all on his own. He's getting a big assist from Tesla CEO and guest at the White Lotus undressing that corpse with his eyes, Elon Musk. That has led a lot of protests around the country at Tesla dealerships. Now, I want to be clear. I do not condone violence or vandalism of any kind. That is a deeply held belief of mine that comes from the bottom of my CBS legal department. With that in mind, I find it interesting that there's a growing trend of cyber trucks being vandalized and used as skate ramps or covered in garbage. To be fair, that might not be vandalism. That might just be a simple mistake because they do look a lot like a dumpster.
It's vandalism, dude.
Tesla owners are facing backlash everywhere they go. Recently, somebody stole the wheels from every single Tesla in a Texas parking lot. Whoever did it, I do not condone this, but I do appreciate your tireless efforts. What's this?
What happened when Jussie Smollett lied about getting attacked?
Every
single show was somber.
Oh, yeah.
That this could happen in this country is shocking. How could this? It never happened. Yet when innocent people are being attacked, it's funny. Hey, we got Jimmy Kimmel. Don't forget Jimmy Kimmel. Wait, we don't got Jimmy Kimmel.
Got it.
Now we got Jimmy Kimmel. Okay, apparently we... Oh.
Now we got... Other than the stock market for a change. Our co-president, Elon Musk, sent a SpaceX vehicle to bring the astronauts back, and when they landed, he fired them immediately upon landing. Tesla stock is way down, almost disastrously so. People have been...
Clowns.
Vandalizing Tesla vehicles, new Tesla vehicles. Please don't vandalize. Don't ever vandalize Tesla vehicles. And so Elon Musk has been making the rounds in the right.
We all get the implication of what his joke was meant to be.
Yep.
That light pause with the look to the camera was the wink and the nod. Mm-hmm. That's ABC effectively saying, do it.
Yeah, man. It's like
I do want to give a shout out real quick just to this clip before we go. Once again, I got to unmute this stuff, don't I?
Even Colbert?
We're good. There we go.
This weekend, a man and a woman who are serving
I'm sorry. I gotta tee this off. This is from March 13th, 2022.
together in the resistance took a break from fighting to get married on the front lines. It's like a wedding in Texas, but with slightly fewer guns. Although I must say, huge faux pas. Everyone knows you're not supposed to wear the same color camo as the bride. Where is she? Where is she? I'll tell you what, I will never complain about a destination wedding again. Russia has been hit with a series of crippling sanctions, and it looks like there's more to come because the U.S. and its European allies are now discussing banning imports of Russian oil. Take that, Putin. We're not going to buy our gas from a war criminal. We're going to buy it from the good guys, Saudi Arabia. But it's going to cost. Since the invasion, oil prices have skyrocketed. Today, the average gas price in America hit an all-time record high of over $4 per gallon. Okay, that stings, but a clean conscience is worth $1 or $2. I'm willing to pay.
It's $1 or $2 per gallon.
Wait for it.
Right. It's important. I'm willing to pay $4 a gallon. Hell, I'll pay $15 a gallon because I drive a Tesla.
You do? Steven, you drive a Tesla? Oh, no. But it was a clean conscience, you said, right? You have a clean conscience driving a Tesla? It's a cult. And I think that proves it to everybody. Do you think that Colbert sold his Tesla? I don't think so.
I wonder.
The mothership came up with new messaging, and boy, you have to move fast. You know, you saw what happened to JK Rowling, right? lifetime member of the cult in good standing, every single opinion, check that box. One opinion off, you're done.
One opinion off that is just as simple as men are men and women are women.
Yeah, but I think JK Rowling specifically was like, we shouldn't have men in female prisons.
Yeah.
I think that was the first issue that she brought up. She's like, wow, a man was placed in a female prison, and that's scary. And then they went after her for it.
Yeah.
And then someone put up a billboard that said, I heart JK Rowling, and they called it hate speech and took it down, which is insane. And then Billboard Chris explained how famously he in Canada did the same thing, and they called it hate speech and took it down.
Yeah.
Just saying, I heart JK Rowling.
Yeah.
Well, don't watch Harry Potter on, what is coming on, HBO?
I heart JK.
I heard they're race swapping Snape anyway, so I will not be watching it.
It's wild that they're remaking. Remake?
Well, I mean, bro, it's been 20 something. It's been 20 years, hasn't it? Wow. Yeah.
I can't even believe that.
You're old, Phil.
I don't want to talk about it.
I read the book when I was working at Ground Zero at 9/11. That's when I got into Harry Potter.
I was an actual adult when Harry Potter came out, and it was 20 years ago.
I was a small child.
I was not.
I thought Colbert, I don't normally talk crap about people, particularly behind their back. It's things I wouldn't say to their face. I've had it out, not out for this guy. He's such a waste of talent. He is just garbage performance. Like, this guy, since his Colbert report, would just say fake stuff. He would just lie to people, but it was in the guise of comedy. Like, they act like they're news agents, and then they, one sentence, they'll just lie, and it's supposed, but it's okay, because I'm a comedian, so I'm allowed to lie to you.
The clarification is the setup to the joke is implied to be the truth, and the punchline is implied to be the lie. But they will lie in the setup as if they're telling you the truth. Mm-hmm. So on The Daily Show a few weeks ago, with the gutting of USAID, the setup for the joke is, today, Elon Musk went into the USAID and began firing lots of people, cutting foreign aid to developing nations. And then blah, blah, joke. And you're like, wait, hold on. That first part's not true. They treat it like an actual news story, so you think it's true. That's the manipulation.
He started it off with our co-president, Elon Musk. Not true. I don't know why you said that. It's not funny. People didn't even know if they were supposed to laugh. The audience half
hold on. Like, I can understand what you're saying on that, but that's not nearly as egregious as how Colbert will be like, take a look at this. Here's a news clipping and a report, and he's lying to America about it. The purpose of the joke after the fact is to cover up the fact that he just gave you fake news. Yeah. Because then when they're called out on it, he goes, it was a joke. And then they go, yeah, it was a joke. You're so dumb.
Mm-hmm. That's it, man. I've had problems with this guy since 2006. I made a YouTube video right at him in 2006 being like, you are a fake piece of crap. That showed him. I was like, you know what? I don't even care if people see my stuff. I put that energy out into the universe and they feel it.
Because those vibrations, they get
Yeah, and other people see it, and the ripples through 7 steps of Kevin Bacon. Everyone knows Kevin Bacon through 7 people. Yeah, he felt that.
6.
But I was tired of that Colbert crap. He's a junk artist, man. That guy is fake as fuck. I
mean, he was always doing a shtick, right? He was an actual liberal or leftist, liberal, playing a conservative. That was his shtick. Like, he was making like Stephen Colbert, when he had the Colbert Report, it was like, it was a joke. He wasn't actually a conservative. He was mocking, he was, lampooning conservatives. And so it was a character he was playing. Now it's less so, like, he's not really playing a character anymore. He's not really the same, doing the lampoon thing. He's just being more.
He's just lying to people for real.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a normal. He's a normal leftist. He's not much different than Jimmy Kimmel or
he's manipulative as hell. That's why they put him on the Tonight Show. He would lie on the Colbert Report. He'd come out and be like, he'd talk about how we have to be at war in 9/11. We gotta go. And you're like, dude, quit saying this stuff. I know it's all in just good fun, Stephen. But you know how many people are manipulated by that crap, dude?
He was thinking...
He doesn't realize it.
Like, he was thinking... Like, well, the point of what he was saying was, like, he was playing a character. He didn't believe the things that he was saying.
Yeah, right. So, same with the Tonight Show. I'm sure he'll be like, no, it was just a character when I lied to you. Okay,
well, I'm not so sure. I can't speak for him. I don't know.
Garbage. I don't like talking bad about people, man. Like, fix yourself. Fix myself. That's obviously the main purpose in life, but this is sickening. This guy is just high horse crap. Well, Jimmy Kimmel, talented, and it pisses me off.
They're all of them. It is kind of crazy to see where we're going. When the cultural zeitgeist of the left is terrorism, This is the precursor to civil wars. Guys, I know, blah, 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 cliche, but actually listen. In modern civil wars, not in our civil war, media played a huge role. When there was, read about the Rwandan genocide. Prominent personalities who were part of one group. It was, what was the name of the group that, the Tutsi is the ones who got massacred, right?
Hutu. Yeah.
The Hutu would constantly make jokes about violence like this. They'd be like, I mean, like it was a component of the media that it was culturally prevalent and normal among the Hutu to say the Tutsi are bad and should be wiped out and all those things. When they start going on TV and gloating and laughing about violence and terror against regular people, that's the direction we're going. And I'm sorry, there's no off-ramp. Unless you go to Colbert and say, Stephen, I'd like to explain to you how this is going to lead to chaos. I mean, I told this to Jack Dorsey's face. And y'all laughed at me, but who's laughing now? Nobody, actually, because we're all terrified. But when I was on the Rogan podcast with Jack Dorsey and Vijay Gadde, one of the last things we talked about, I said, if you guys keep doing this, you are pushing this country to a civil war. And they were like, I don't know about that. A couple years later, I was like Mike Cernovich, and he was like, remember when Tim Pool warned them in 2019? It's been 2 years, and then all this stuff is happening. Yeah, now it's 2025, and it's worse than we've ever seen. The swattings and the terror attacks is the worst we've seen it. When you have the Summer of Love riots, it's bad, but it's indiscriminate. It was just leftists going crazy in their own cities. Today, there were 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump, technically a third foreign one, but I mean 2 domestic ones. And now you have directed terrorism from the left targeting conservative personalities at their homes.
I keep thinking, I was listening to the show last night too, and I'm like, civil war? No, that's the big ask. I can't do civil war, but I can give you revolution.
No.
We're in a revolution, baby. We were co-opted in 1913. You actually brought up the Pendleton Act, early 1871, that's when this coup started in the United States. And it's been 150 years that these bureaucracy has been in control of the United States government. It's a revolution to take the country back. That's what's happening behind the scenes right now.
It is. It's a revolution when one side takes the country back. You can argue that the election of Donald Trump is a revolution. But the issue is, what do you call it when there are 2 factions fighting for control of one government? That's called a civil war.
So I think they've had this kind of long march through the institutions, right? And they've been playing that year by year, generation by generation. I think a big part of that has been capturing the deep state. In other words, using tax revenue to sort of create this fake left. But another big part of it, I think, has been indoctrinating the kids, right? So every generation gets lefter and lefter because of how they've used the education system. Now, I think what happened is in COVID, they saw what they thought was the opportunity of the century, that they were going to move the ball like 30 yards. Right. Because, I mean, just like it was just handed to them by fate, and they launched too soon. They needed another generation or 2 to really completely seal the deal, to, indoctrinate enough Americans so that we could never, ever get back. I think they launched too soon. And so what did that do? It got their hopes up, got them really excited. It was crazy in 2020. Like, everybody was against us, right? Like the American Association of Actuaries, was going on about, how systemic racism is a plight on you're just like, why do you have opinions on these things? They were like just dancing that they had complete victory, and then it just vanished, right? It just evaporated. So they are frustrated. At this point, they feel like they're out of ammo. They're throwing the guns at us now. So they're desperate. So on the one hand, yes, I think they've escalated into more violence than ever. On the other hand, I think that's what's happening. Their hopes got so high and they were so horribly disappointed now that they are desperate. It's good because they're no longer in control. They're no longer strategic, right? They're making mistakes, just like they made mistakes in 2020.
Yes, and it's like an immune response. Like the body has developed immunity. You don't need 100% protection to have immunity, and there's still viruses attacking organs and things, but the body's immunity has overtaken the problem, so the viruses aren't in control of the system anymore. That is what it feels like. And these acute little bouts of inflammation are like, and my hope it's that it is just part of the healing process. The future's unwritten. Obviously, we're influencing it right now.
So do you have a sense of where this is headed? Because me and Tim, Tim said there's no off ramp, and that's something that we've been saying around here a lot. I don't see an off ramp because I don't know if you can't get people on the left to say things like, yes, it's bad for there to be terrorist activity because they believe that Donald Trump is a fascist, or that these things that Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing will somehow lead to fascism, which I don't understand how they can conceive of that, but take at their word that they believe that. If they believe that, then there isn't anything that's beyond the pale to do to prevent a fascist takeover. So that's part of why I don't see an off-ramp. What's your sense of what the next year is going to bring, or 2 years?
Yeah, I think there's always like a hardcore, whether it's 5 or 20%, and those people maybe are beyond redemption. Thank goodness in democracy they don't matter. But the question is, you've got another 20 or 30% who they believe in this left-wing stuff just because they're fans of Jimmy Kimmel or whatever. They're not really dedicated activists. They're the ones who I think are in play. And honestly, I'm very optimistic about the trends. I think that the media, the alt media, is by far stronger than it's ever been. If you look back to the 1970s and 1960s, right, you had a monolithic left-wing media. You didn't even have Rush Limbaugh yet. Okay, you had zero voice from the right. The closest you had was maybe William F. Buckley. I mean, just nothing, right? And yet we fought them to a standstill. Yes, we were losing ground, but not that badly considering that we had absolutely zero voice. So I think that if you look back over the past 150 years, right, the period of left-wing domination of newspapers and then TV and then radio and so on, I think that we're actually in a really, really good spot here. I was shocked that media pulled out all the stops going into the 24 election, right? They compared him to Hitler. Everything they had in the arsenal, they were like, throw it all now. It was insane, right? And it didn't work. So I think that's a very, very important number. We continue gaining. If you look at the new media, I mean, people like us, but just, you've got new guys on like YouTube and X all the time. These people are so much higher quality than the garbage that is being peddled. I think that what we're looking at now is that 60 people who are in their 60s or 70s, they're slowly being replaced by people who are in their 20s. Nobody in their 20s watches ABC News.
No.
I mean, like zero. Right? So the media is trending in our direction. The left had been convinced so long that time was on their side because both immigration, illegal immigration, and capturing the education system. Now, when I look at media, when I look at the trends in there, time is on our side. We are winning. So we're already in control right now. We are discovering the last fedayeen, the last insane Japanese soldiers living in the forest at this point, these guys doing the violence, right? This is no longer controlled like mature opposition. This is desperate. So it looks bad at the moment, but I think it's like when the fever breaks and you start healing.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.